All right, welcome guys. You know, at the suggestion of Matt, here I am doing a little bit more videos now. This time it's not actually going to be Magic Online or Pioneer. Um, so Arena had this standard shakeup event, which has a special ban list, as you can see here. And I always love these types of formats. They're like mini unsolved formats that we get to play with, and oftentimes you get to revisit strategies that were like good, but not quite good enough to make the cut. And I've decided that with no white cards banned outside of, say, Teferi and Doom Foretold, I'm going to try my hand at this super sick Fae of Wishes control. So this is kind of like the Clear the Mind deck that we had early on, and basically it was the precursor of the Blue-White Gadwick deck that we saw, in the past couple standard months. So basically, the concept here is because it's best of one, we don't actually have a sideboard. So we just play a bunch of the catch-all answers, absorb, time wipe, planar cleansing, Gadwick for some card draw. But we need a way to win the game. And the problem is that Castle Ardenvale is not really going to get the job done if people are playing like a ton of creatures and stuff like that. So we're utilizing Fae of Wishes to be able to grab not only toolbox sideboard cards, but like specific win cons. So we've got Finale of Glory is a very common way to win. We've got Mass Manipulation. We can set up like loops so we can't deck with like Jace and Finale of Revelation. Commence the Endgame is a way to break the mirror. We've also got like specific answers here, so like Narset, Ashiok, Spyglass, stuff like that. Um, Single combat's like one that's been pretty sweet and it's come up a couple times where you can like Wrath the board. You like play Fae of Wishes, Wrath their board. You have a 1/4 that like blocks their only creature, and then they like time walk themselves, and you can like still generate board presence with like instants of sorceries and stuff. And here we have the Depose Deploy plus Augur of Bowls package that we played early on in some of my lists as a way to somewhat mitigate against aggro. And the one of Agent of Treachery is something that I encountered playing against Gates, because he kind of just ramped into an Agent of Treachery, and I had a difficult time winning because he was just able to take my Castle Vantress. So Agent is kind of like a planar cleansing, but can like offloads that board presence into like one specific card. So it's also like a good answer for something like a Kenrith or a Great Henge, something that we don't have like a good one for one answer for, and we may not have the ability to planar cleansing at that moment. So mana base is pretty straightforward. We've chosen not to play Castle Ardenvale because we want our white sources to always come into play untapped, and we really found that we only wanted to be using Castle Vantress for the most part. So we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. I'm just going to play some games with it. Yeah, this format's sweet. I've been seeing a lot of like the green stompy decks running around because like Yorvo and Vivian are both legal, and there's also like some cool stuff you can do with like Neoform. So the concept of blue white is like pretty solid, and usually you kind of like dumpster a lot of the creature decks in the format because they don't have like anything like Questing Beast to really like fight through it. So like most decks don't have a good way to stop a board wipe in this format. This hand's great. We've set up our little combo here with Time Wipe. So we have a lot of creatures that Time Wipe is really good with. So if they showed us the mountain, I don't know what I want to do yet. If there's something like Arclight, for example, then I want to use Fae for like Narset or an Ashiok. All right. We've got Planar Cleansing as well. All right. So I think we want to go ahead and tap that to draw a card. This matchup seems tough, but maybe we can get like an Narset into play. So we can board wipe the next couple of turns. He's encouraged to draw a card on his turn. Yep, Royal Scions. So Narset is pretty good against that. but not quite good enough. So we're going to go ahead and we'll time wipe. It only gets rid of that, but it sets us up for potentially a planar cleansing here. We kind of want to start being able to loop the Fave Wishes again. But we will have to deal with the Royal Scions at some point, but hopefully he has to play a threat, because if he doesn't have a counterspell and we like play an Narset, then he may not be able to do very much. Yep, and here's got an Electromancer. He's shocking, so it could be something like an Ionize, which would be pretty bad for us, but I don't know that we have a ton of options outside of that. So I'm going to go ahead and cast a Planar Cleansing and just hope. So he discarded Arclight. It'd be very strange for him to play Ionize in a deck with Arclight, but, you know, more power to him. Once we get to 8 mana, we can go cast Fae, cast Narset, cast Absorb. And there's no Teferi to shut off a lot of stuff here, but we can go ahead and, if he can't put Arclight into play this turn, then we can just like Fae for whatever we want. But it looks like he's going to be able to. Now it is just one of them, so you know we can fight through that. Like, we're just gonna cast Fae. Cast Fae, gain a life. There's a chance we should have just held up for the Absorb, like played our Fabled Passage, but we don't really want to discard the Narset. I'll have Coil. I will absorb that. Don't really want to block. Absorbing it was good enough, I think. Okay. Narset. Alright, so we'll take the Depose Deploy. Depose Deploy was a good draw here, because it's going to let us double spell, and we can set up like potentially ways to protect this Narset. Like, the Narset just absolutely shuts off Pyromancer. Though, if we take Ether Gust, we have like a pretty good setup. So I think we want to let him go to attacks. Cast the Opt. See what we get. Vantress is good, but not really what I'm looking for right now. Gadwick, that's what I want. So we're going to go ahead and we'll gain some life here. Now, he could potentially just kill the Narset, but... Alright, so this way, we want to guarantee we can kill the Arclight through even a shock, because when we have a Narset in play, this kind of encourages him to throw the burn spells at our creatures, which leaves our Narset alive. And it can be difficult for him to get full value off his spells and get an Arclight back in the same turn when we have a Narset in play. Okay. And Ral's Outburst, that'll take care of the Narset. So I like just drawing 5. No attacks. So now we have 9 mana. We're going to untap and get 10 mana, so we can cast Planar Cleansing plus Depose Deploy, which is pretty much exactly where we want to be. Alright, so he's going to probably snipe that. Alright, that sets us up for a very good Planar Cleansing. Oh, he went after us. That's fine. Alright, we'll just pass the turn. that was a very good draw from him, but we have the resources to potentially just like tax his spells here because we have a backup Fae. All right, so he's casting the Arclight. So we're going to depose deploy. We're going to try and kill the Arclight and set up Fae of Wishes plus Ashiok. All right. Gonna mill him. All right. Yep. Cast this off. See what we've got going on. Absorb is really good, so that should be able to let us potentially lock the game out here. So we can cast the Fae. Hold up depose deploy. We're gonna mill him. All right. So these are pass-through attackers. We're gonna go ahead and tap that. All right. Go return Fae. Cast Fae. We're gonna grab Time Wipe. We don't really want to get blown out by a counter spell potentially, so that's why we're not casting the Fae to return it. So we just want to eventually set up Absorb to protect a turn in which we cast Fae. All right, so we can cast. Now we can cast the Fae. Now we will play Tranquil Cove, and we'll pass. So we've got 13 mana. All right, so we're gonna be super inefficient here. Return Fae. We want to get Finale Revelation. Okay. Again, just being super patient here. There's no real reason not to. We have a pretty good lock. Yeah, we'll absorb that. All right. 13. So we're choose this for 12. Or sorry, for 10. We can discard Planar Cleansing at the Time Wipe. And then we can pass. And now we can just win however we want. So I'm going to go ahead and do this just to get a little bit of a buffer for whatever reason in case things go south. Just gonna shortcut a little bit. I mean, I missed sequence, but it doesn't really matter. He should be conceding very soon. So we'll absorb that. I mean, I guess we could have just won with Ashiok, but that's fine. So we could have killed it and then shuffled it back in and, gotten there with finale. Alright, that's the first match win. Negative 47. Hmm. Admittedly not great. I'm gonna mulligan this. This hand's better. Do we get rid of the veto? Okay. So we'll cast a Fae. Alright, so pretty good start. Yes. Just cast another Fae. Basically, we're time wiper bust in this matchup. Safara? I mean, if he nut draws us, he nut draws us. That's pretty good. He has it. Alright, so we're dead. Alright, so that was the first loss we've taken with this deck. Um, doesn't really seem like there's like a ton that we can necessarily do to Safara that early. Um, like even if we had the absorb, we didn't really have a way to cast it. Yep, sounds good. So we'll see what this opt gives us. I'm gonna go ahead and opt into response. Yeah. So I want to guarantee some sort of value play. So he's probably gonna take Augur here. Then we can cast a Fey out. We can like play a Fey out, potentially to block. Um, we'll definitely play it out anyway. We want to like blank his fervent champions and stuff like that. So we took Augur. Decent for us. Alright, no blocks. Alright. Oh, that was very good. Now we can just pass. Shocking. Alright, so we'll go to 13. We'll absorb anything he plays here. He didn't do anything. Alright. I think we just have to try and set up a time wipe here. And he knows about planar cleansing. We can't hold up absorb plus veto that turn. But now we block. Like blocking now is the same as blocking later. We have a Fey he can't drill bit anyway. If he drill bits, he has to take the time wipe. And then like we can pass. And if we draw a blue source, we could go like cast Fey. I guess we could still like cast Fey, block, like veto a kill spell or whatever, and then set up like a planar cleansing from there. Yeah, like blocking now is good because it's a turn we don't have shields up. Because like blocking like this, sure we could lose the Fey, but it makes him decide between pushing damage and getting counters on his guys, or killing the Fey. So we're gonna go ahead and time wipe. It's gonna give him a food, but planar cleansing later in the game can just mop up that witch's oven. So I'm not particularly worried about that. All right, fervent champion and mayhem devil. All right, pretty good. Oof. Well, all right. Not great. Okay, so he didn't feel like he could beat a planar cleansing or a Fey, I guess. Um, little did he know that we had triple absorb that we could not cast back. So, all right, all right. Ooh, it's a cool avatar. I haven't seen that one very often. I'll go first, double depose. Yep, we'll keep this. Interesting. Chess guy, something. Got a good setup here. If he doesn't play a proactive threat, we can start playing a flash game. That's the advantage of playing the depose deploys. So it gives you a little bit of a more proactive plan. Like if he counters this, we just slam a Gadwick. All right. Hmm. I'll shock and pass. So we can just deploy again. Probably is another veto. Main deck Mystical Dispute. Okay. I'm glad we didn't cast the Gadwick. Cast Fae. Looks like he has a counter spell. Control matchups are usually decided by the person who draws more lands, and it looks like it's him. Normally, I'm not a fan of countering draw spells, but we're just so ridiculously far behind. I don't actually care. I don't think I can really beat anything here. Alright, and so we're dead. That deck is spicy. I like it though. It's sweet. Dang, we're doing so poor. I think like, yeah, if we had, see, there's like merit to being patient if we're drawing lands there, um, but it's kind of tough. And once the Smothering Tides is in play, we just like have to jam our cards. Yep, we'll keep. I mean, he really wanted to win that one with the main deck Mystical Disputes. Yep, we'll counter that. This is probably Arc Light. Which case, we just want to find our Narset Ashiok lock as soon as we can. Hmm. Yep, counter that. Drawing both vetoes was pretty good here. Could play a Crackling Drake. We have the Time Wipe. Alright. So we're at 16 here. So I think we'll play Augur. Absorb's good. And we have Time Wipe set up. Time Wipe plus Augur is like pretty gross. So We'll absorb that. So it's like reasonably likely he can just get the Arclight back, but we might as well make him have it. All right. Obviously, it's like decent for us if he takes that opportunity to play Kraken Drake, so we can just time wipe it. Right, so he should be getting one, at least potentially two here. Interesting. So cast this. So these must not be spells. Alright, that's fine. Hmm. 6 mana. Alright, they visit. So we're gonna planar cleansing that. He's gonna draw card his for one, but we can't beat him if he untaps with that card, so. Oh, alright. So that basically became a lightning bolt. Dang, no Fey. Rip. Yep. Alright. So we do it for 4. So we just want to maximize our cards here. Alright. Less than ideal draws. But yeah, I mean if we survive this turn, we set up planar cleansing plus absorb, which is a decent spot to be in against Arclight. So we're gonna block. He's gonna castle. He's gonna hit us for 4, down to 7. And we'll play a planar cleansing. Even better now. Alright, we'll absorb that. Do it for 5. This way we can still hold up a depose deploy if we need to. Alright. And then we'll pass. Alright. It's number 3 on that. Alright. Okay. Should also do this for 5. Go discard planar cleansing. So we don't even lose to 4 Phoenixes here because we can tap 2 of his guys. Then we're in a very good spot if we get to untap. So we're gonna have 12 lands in play, so we can just triple depose deploy a few bricks here. I think I'm fine trading for castle activation. I don't really care very much. This has already done its job. Fae was an even better draw. Getting our sets. Casting our set. Cast an augur. Grab an opt. And pass. We don't want to minus. Because this way it's harder for him to flip it. Yep. And there we go. Alright, dope. Alright, we'll do one more. And we'll see what our... Well, I guess we'll see how well we'll do. So... Alright. You're winning a lot of die rolls today. Playing this because I don't know what I want to opt for yet. Probably Arclight. Oh, interesting. Flash. It's a lot worse for us, but we do have Depose Deploys, so not too bad. They don't have Bone Crusher or Brazen Borrower, though. That's a tough decision point. Do I cast the Augur? Do I Gadwick for 1? I think I'm going to go ahead and Gadwick for 1. It's not ideal, but say we draw land here, which we did. Then, like, if he doesn't kill this, like, our next turn is, like, insane. Like, he can never actually, like, pressure us when we have double depose and augur and an opt in hand with Gadwick in play. So I think that's, like, why I'm going for it, because we don't actually have a sweeper, and if he's showing us this, there's a good chance he can just, like, counter what we're dealing with. Um, Although it looks like he may, like, just be the draw version of the deck, which isn't super likely to play counter spells, but it's something that they could have. All right. All right, that was a good one. So now if he doesn't do anything, then we can start castling. So we'll cast opt, tap that. right. So we're gonna go ahead and tap this guy. We want to try and hit a time wipe here. It's a very good draw. So we'll time wipe. Again, I feel totally fine just like throwing away resources in most matchups. Even this one, because we have a lot of good answers to things. So now we can play Augur. We can Ether Gust his Iron Crag in response to a spell. Hopefully find Planar Cleansing. Alright, we'll take Time Wipe, I think. Um, I think that puts us in a good spot. Is this a good as a Plains? This gets our Augur back. So next turn we could potentially play Augur and Planar Cleansing. Alright. Yep. Alright. Now Planar Cleansing would be fantastic. So it looks like he probably doesn't have counter spells. The Time Wipe is a good thing for stalling for time as well. Alright, there we go. But I think I just... No. We're going to go ahead and Planar Cleansing now. The risk is he could just pass when he knows about Planar Cleansing after we've Time Wiped, and then like we have to Cleansing anyway. Right, now we'll Time Wipe. It's like he's not playing Arclights, which is pretty good for us. So we'll take a Narset. All right, that locks that one up. It shuts off his whole engine. So, all right, well, that's gonna be it for this little short one. Again, I'm just experimenting with format and stuff like that. So, I'll have this checklist ready in the Patreon and Discord if you guys want. So, thanks for watching.